Yo, what is up guys? Ethan here, back with another video, and today we return with college football predictions. As today we'll be talking about the BYU Cougars. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Now heading into this year, BYU is second in overall returning production, which is absolutely insane. It's like in the 90s or something like that. Like, oh my. BYU went 10-3 last year, and they're returning 90% of their starting production. BYU is bound to have a phenomenal year for this upcoming year, but when we get to that schedule, it's going to get a little bit tough for this BYU team. And even though they could be a college football playoff dark horse, it's going to be a very difficult time to get there. It starts off with this offense under Keilani Sitake. You got a quarterback in Jaren Hall. Man is like an ancient old man. Seems like he's been playing for years and years. He was in their 2016 recruiting class, and he's your quarterback. Talk about experience. He's going to be leading this offense with this passing game. Last year it was a little bit more run heavy with Tyler Algier, but he's now with the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL. So that running back situation was a little iffy, but you do have a transfer in Christopher Brooks coming in from Cal. He's going to have a day one impact, and I think he's going to be really good in this offense. And maybe he's not going to be as good as Algier was last year, but Brooks is going to do a really good job this year. This wide receiver core is really, really good as well. You got Gunnar Rodney coming back. You got Puka and Kua coming back. You got Keanu Hill. And then you got a deadly tight end duo in Isaac Rex and Dallin Holker. Also, this offensive line may be the best offensive line in BYU history, according to some of their fans. I'm just seeing experience and talent on this offensive line, but you could be replacing him with Kingsley Suamatia, a 5-star tackle that was committed to Oregon but transferred into here from BYU. He could have a day one impact if he starts. He's mainly a tackle, but I would not be surprised if he does play a little bit of guard for this upcoming season. For this defense, I'm just seeing experience and talent. There's no key number one guy on this defense like there is with most teams, but there's a list of top tier guys on this defense. Tyler Batty, Ben Bywater, like, those are just a few. The defensive line's really good. This linebacking core is probably the best part about this team. The secondary is really, really good as well. You do have a transfer coming in from Vanderbilt in Gabe Judy Jalali. I don't know if he's going to be starting day one due with D'Angelo Mandel, Caleb Hayes, Jacob Robinson all playing, but this safety duo is really underrated as well with Malik Moore. I'm really intrigued to see what Malik Moore does in the secondary. One of the most underrated safeties in all college football. He's not a top-tier safety or anything like with Antonio Johnson at Texas A&M, but he's really, really good as well. And there's like so many players on this BYU defense, and with how Keilani Sitake uses them with this defense, they rotate so much. Like, the depth with this defense is absolutely insane, and it's going to be hard for offenses to just keep up because there's always going to be a different guy. You're always going to be looking at different positions all over the field. And that's why BYU has been overachieving for so many years, and that's why they have all this hype entering this upcoming season, and I can see why. But now let's look into the schedule. They got some big-time games on this schedule. The schedule, if they win out, they are definitely a college football playoff team. But it's going to be hard to go winning out. But first game, we're not going to waste your time. Even though you have to go down to Tampa and play USF in very hot weather, this is not going to be a test, really. I think BYU should handle the Bulls with ease. And then you have a big-time game at home versus Baylor. And if you haven't watched my Baylor predictions, go check it out. But I think at this point in the season, Dave Aranda is still going to be trying to find out a few things with that offense because the offense lost a lot of key guys. And I think BYU is going to take advantage of that. All the experience coming back from BYU is going to be crucial in this game. And I think BYU is going to handle Baylor at home in this game. Next game, you will have to go up to Eugene and play the Oregon Ducks. And if you haven't watched my Oregon prediction video as well, go check that video out. But I think this is an Oregon win. This is going to be a close game. BYU can easily go up to Oregon and defeat the Ducks. BYU was 5-0 versus Pac-12 teams last year. It was either 5-0 or 4-0, but they were undefeated versus Pac-12 teams last season. Absolutely crazy. But I think Oregon's going to get this done. Even though BYU has a way more experience, I think this is going to be Oregon's big-time game just to get on the right foot. They already lost to Georgia in the opening game. This is their biggest home game until that Utah game at the end of the season. This crowd's going to be hype, and I think overall Oregon has better talent than BYU. BYU has the experience, but Oregon has the talent. I'm a big fan of this Oregon staff, and even though Kalani Sitake may have the experience edge, I think overall as a staff, Oregon's staff is better than BYU's. Close game. This game is going to be a thrilling game. It's a 50-50 game in my books. Oregon's the home team, and those 50-50 games, I always lean towards the home team. Ducks win at home. Next game, hosts Wyoming, and Wyoming, even though Titus Swen's going to be really good, you just lost so much in the transfer portal that you're not going to be able to compete. BYU should handle Wyoming at home with relatively ease. Next game, you host Utah State, and this could be a trap game in my opinion. Utah State just won the Mountain West. They just went to the LA Bowl versus Oregon State. Really underrated team since I'm a big fan of Fresno State. Then you got teams like Boise State and Air Force. Utah State's getting a little slept on in the Mountain West. They are used to this Utah crowd. They do have this talent with Logan Bonner coming back. But I just think the experience of BYU and BYU being home in this game is going to be a little too much. Do not be surprised if this Thursday night game is going to be a little close. But overall, I think BYU is more talented and experienced in this Aggies team. Cougars win this game at home. I forgot to say about that Utah State game. They have this game on their mind right now. A neutral site game versus Notre Dame. And this is going to be a phenomenal game. But personally, I have Notre Dame winning this game. I think that defense for Notre Dame is a top 5 defense in all college football. They're going to be able to slow down this BYU offense. And I think Chris Tyree is going to have a big game in this game. I think Tyler Buckner is going to get a little mojo going on in this game. This is going to be a very low-scoring game in my opinion. This is a 50-50 game, and these games I usually go to the home team. This is a neutral site game, so it's a really tough decision for me. But personally, I think the Notre Dame defense will find a way to win this game for the Fighting Irish. If you have BYU winning this game, I'm not even mad at you. I completely understand, but I'm just going to lead towards Notre Dame in this game because I'm a big fan of this defense and Marcus Freeman. Next game, you host Arkansas at home, and after a very disappointing loss on the road, or a neutral site game versus Notre Dame, you host Arkansas, and I think BYU is going to be furious in this game. In this gap, Arkansas is in a really tough 4-game stretch of games, and BYU is just going to be furious. They just lost one of their biggest games of the season. Now they're going to go home in this one. I think BYU is going to go all out and defeat the Razorbacks at home. Sam Pittman's too good of a coach to get blown out on the road like this. This is going to be a close game, but I think BYU will pull away at home and beat the Razorbacks. Next game, you are at Liberty. If this Liberty team had Malik Willis, I would consider this upset, but BYU is just way more talented and a better coached team. BYU will win this game on the road. Next game, you host East Carolina. If this was at East Carolina, I'll consider an upset here since this is a Friday night game. But BYU's at home. This Provo crowd's going to be good once again. BYU's just more experienced and talented. Kalani Sitake's a better head coach than Mike Houston. Cougars will win this game at home. Next game, you're at Boise State, and I had a tough time choosing this game. I was thinking about upset with Boise State for a long time, but I just don't know how Andy Avalos is going to be able to compete with this BYU team. I think Kalani Sitake is going to be preparing for this game after that Arkansas game. That's why I think that East Carolina game might be a little bit closer than you think because they're going to be focused on this Boise State game for the upcoming week. It's always tough to play at Boise. It always is. Close game. I think the Cougars pull away on the road, though. Then you have a very, very late bye week, and then you have a easy game versus Utah Tech. Not going to waste your time. You will beat Utah Tech at home. And to end the season, you're at Stanford. And this is just a prime game for an upset. I'm going to have BYU winning. I will have BYU winning this game. But this is going to be way too close for comfort. I think Stanford's going to come prepared. And they will want to win their final game of the year. I think BYU's going to say no. But this is going to be a very surprising game for BYU. The Cardinals will keep this game close. Do not be surprised if they even win this game at home. But BYU will end the year on a high note and defeat Stanford at home. And I have BYU going 10-2 this upcoming season with losses at Oregon and home versus Notre Dame. The ceiling for this team, in my opinion, is 11-1. I want to say you can go 12-0, but I do think eventually you will slip up at one of these games. Baylor, Oregon, Utah State, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Boise State, Stanford. Maybe even East Carolina. Those are 8 losable games on this schedule, and I think you will lose at least one of those games. The floor for this team, in my opinion, is 7-5 just strictly because of this schedule. The schedule is absolutely brutal for BYU. Worse than 7-5, I would be absolutely shocked because I'm not much of a big fan of Kalani Sitake, and I'm confident he will not go worse than 7-5. 7-5 is the floor for this team. The ceiling of this team is 11-1 in my opinion. My record's 10-2. What is your prediction for BYU this upcoming season? And like always, like, share, subscribe, push notifications on so you don't miss any of my videos, and share this video so we can overall grow this Elk NCAA community. And like always, have a good day. Peace out.